Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redux What If, and today I got a what if for y'all. This is gonna be what if Natsu was in Black Clover, part 6, I believe. I believe I'm on part 6. Yeah, this is part 6. So, uh, I know I've been gone for a while. I've been doing some crazy things. So yeah, as y'all know, y'all saw the post, and y'all can see my car, which I'm not gonna say it's my car. It is a car that I do know of, to protect myself. I mean, they can't really prove it's me. And yeah, so long story short, we was in Vice City, and we were doing some pulls. I got a few upgrades on my car I got in GTA, and that's when the Vice City police started coming, and then that's when the basically that's when the Vice City state decided to get involved, but they weren't able to catch me, so they pulled out a most wanted list like it was Need for Speed. And the car that I was driving on the game is hot right now. So and they even got it wrong. Those aren't the Vice City police said it was aftermarket wheels. Those are stock rims, and it doesn't even look like it is anymore. And since I was using my customized plate I got from completing races on GTA, they weren't able to get my real plate. So I'm technically still driving around free. But we could get into that later on. If y'all want a story time about that, I'll do a story time about that. But without any further ado, we gonna get into this what if. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. We're like legit 24 away from 200 subs. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all been showing me. The last what if I did was what if Spider-Man or Miles was in Spectacular Spider-Man, and I see y'all enjoy that one too. For future ones, right, Invincible has dropped, so like I said, I will be finishing the previous season because I didn't want to finish it until the new seasons of Invincible did drop. So since it did drop and the episodes are picking up, we're gonna finish the previous season off, and then we're gonna hop into the first episode. So it'll probably be like a hour special. Try to give y'all a recap of what happened. I got a 9-hour long movie, so if y'all want to watch that, since we're doing Invincible after this, y'all can. Like I said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. I'm gonna let this intro play. I'm outside right now to do this what if, so you might hear the breeze, birds chirp a little bit, but like I said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Let's get to 200 subs before summer starts. At least the 200 subs before summer starts. If we could get to 200 before the end of May, hey, I'll be okay with that. We're legit almost at 1,000 subs, man. Like, yeah, I only need like what? I don't even count 70 because I feel like 70 will get passed easily. So we're about like 800 more people away from getting to 1K. If I hit that 1K mark, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even know what I would do myself. But enough with the yapping, man. This is part 6 of what if Natsu was in Black Clover. Enjoy the what if. Now, if you remember where we left off at, right? So you remember where we left off at? Pretty much Natsu, Asta, Noel, Luck, Magna, Mimosa, and Klaus were basically in a dungeon. They fought Mars. Natsu got a temporary power-up with the smoke ability that he ate from Lotus. They end up beating Mars, but they also escaped, and now they reported back. They met up with the crew with Mimosa and Klaus, and then that's when Noel realized that Mimosa may have a huge crush on Natsu. And they got a little spat about it because why is Mimosa liking Natsu? She wasn't even thinking about liking Natsu till she met him. Right. And then it's also a double-edged sword because Noelle likes Asta and Natsu. So she don't know which one to choose. So she don't know which one she want to go for. She don't know which one she going for, honestly. So, yeah, without any further ado, we're going to pick it right up where we left off. And we picking it up back where Julius was congratulating the boys, and, Julius was wondering what Natsu and Asta learned and what was new. So Julius picked up the sword and it was draining his mana, and he came to the conclusion that only a person without magic can wield the sword, right? So as that happened, pretty much everything goes to canon with that. But before they went to the banquet that they were requested to go to, invited by the Wizard King himself, they both asked how do they become Wizard King. And then the Wizard King basically says that, they need merit to become Wizard King. And then that's when Natsu said, what if you don't want merit? What if you want to become something that's better than a Wizard King? A title that not even a Wizard King can dream of. What if you want to be so strong and so known by the world that you don't need a title? What do you call it then? And then that's when Julius said that he wouldn't know what to call that title, but if he wants to become something like that, something possibly greater than a Wizard King and stronger, then he needs to have so much merit that no titles can hold him. And then that's when Natsu was like, I like the sound of that answer, and that's my goal. I want to become so strong that no titles can hold me. You wouldn't even know what I would be. And then that's when Julius laughed. He was like, you have a good dream, young man. He was like, but maybe you should try Wizard King out. You might like it. And then that's when Natsu was like, titles never suited me. He's like, I like to be my own person. They can have the title, but I want to be stronger than them to the point that if the threat is too big, they call on me. When a Wizard King can't handle it, that Wizard King knows who to call on. And then with that being said, they go to the banquet and pretty much everything plays out in canon. They get invited. Noelle is kind of afraid to go because, her brother is there. And then that's when, excuse me. Hey, we haven't yawned on the What If in so long, bro. Feels kind of nostalgic, not gonna hold you. But, they said, pretty much, she said that, she hasn't seen him in so long, ever since Natsu stepped in. She doesn't know how things are gonna play. So they both the crew walks in, and that's when, that's basically when, everything goes to canon with Natsu over here trying to eat. Him and Asta are having an eating contest. And then that's when Noelle's brother starts bullying her, saying that, how dare she think that just because she had a few successful missions that she has the right to be a part of a noble banquet and stand in the same room with them as along with that. And then she tries to defend herself that she can control her magic now and that she is much stronger than she looks, but they're not listening to it. And then that's when Noelle's brother pours water on her and saying, that she's nothing but a burden to this family, and that she really should just think about giving up her future, giving up her magic, and even giving up her life. And then that's when Natsu overheard it with his dragon hearing, and then all you just see is a subtle and as he was about to pour some more water on her, right, that's when a smoky hand grabbed his hand. And then that's when Natsu said, don't you think you've done enough fucking around with your sister and talking down on her like that? And then that's when her brother says, and what does this ruffian thinks he is, putting his dirty hands on me? And he was like, this ruffian can smoke you and probably well done you if he chooses to. But for Noel's sake, I will respect you or give you what little respect I have for you. Keep your hands off your sister. And then that's when her brother was like, and if I don't, what are you gonna do about it? And then that's when Natsu's aura, flaming aura, like the heat started dissipating. He was like, because he used the heat to dry Noel off, and then that's when he asked Noel if he could step back because he might have to teach her brother about respecting his little sister and some manners. And then that's when he turns back to him. And then that's when Natsu says, you really want to do this right here, right now? Because I have no problem putting a noble on his ass. And then that's when he was like, how dare you? The disrespect from you. And then that's when they begin to fight. So he shoots a water blast, right? But Natsu just stands there. Natsu just breathes in and out, and it's like this whole this wave of heat, right? He doesn't even use like a fire aura. It's a wave of heat. This wave, he tanks it. This wave of heat just provides enough heat to the point where it just turns to steam. And then that's when he was like, if this is the so-called power of the nobles, this was nothing more than just a damn hot, a hot bath, like hot bath water back at the church that he stays in, right? So that's when he was like, you impudent. And then that's when he really started using all the powerful attacks. And then that's when the sand user hops in too, right? And then that's when Asta was like, you really think you're gonna gang up on my brother without me stepping in? And so it's basically just a whole all-out brawl right now, right? So the brawl pretty much goes to canon. Asta is, deflecting all the attacks, while Natsu is about to put BTA on Noel's brother. So that's when he was basically like, he was like, why are you just standing there? Attack! Do something! Show me what your futile, he's basically making fun of his magic, calling him party magic, right? And then that's when Natsu was like, oh, you have no idea what you're messing with. And that's when he clenched his fist. And then that's when he was like, I've been working on this move, and I finally get to test it out on somebody that's a piece of shit. He over here influenced by the smoke magic, right? Because he doesn't know that. I think I already explained it. I explained it in the last what if. Whatever magic he absorbs, it affects his emotions, basically. So when it's like a little dark magic or like elemental magic, it can play a part on how he responds to things. So when it's like smoke magic, when he gets used to the magic, of course his emotions will be good. But when he gets angry, he gets more like primal and more aggressive. And then because that's pretty much what's going on. So that's when he said, he was basically like, he's basically saying that he's been dying to try this move out, and he finally has a piece of garbage, since her brother is kind of a piece of garbage, to test it out on. And then that's when he says, secret dragon heart. And then that's when he breathes in and out, and then you see flames and smoke coming out his mouth, all right? That's when he basically says, he was like, you might want to put up a defense for this because I may or may not hold back. And then that's when he said secret dragon art, fire dragon, brilliant flame, phoenix, and a crimson lotus fist. It's basically, I think I said it right. So it's basically like a dragon punch, but it's like in a phoenix shape form. So you call it like crimson lotus. So I said, phoenix lotus, crimson lotus. I think it's English and Japanese version have similar translations, but it's like sometimes the words can be a little bit different. So I'll say crimson lotus for now, but I'll just say phoenix lotus fist for now. So it's a fire dragon, a smoke fire dragon, phoenix lotus fist, right? And so as he was about to punch, you see he just turns into like a speeding phoenix, right? So he just goes across the room like damn near flash steps, and then all you see is impact frames, and then just like this tiny spark of fire that just sparks a blaze instantly. And then that's when, as he was about to connect with the shield, right, that's when Ferligon, I think that's how you say it, steps in and says enough, along with Noelle's other brother. I think she has 2 brothers. I could be wrong. I might be confusing with somebody else. Maybe she does have 2 brothers. And then that's when her other brother and him have a standoff, right? And then that's when Ferlion, along with his pupil, I think it's Leon. I might be wrong with that too. Shit. But y'all already know who I'm talking about. Along with his pupil, and that's when Natsu stops, and then that's when Natsu was like, I hope you learned your lesson. Now act like you have some respect for your sister. You only get one. And then that's when he starts to go back to his normal self, right? And so that's when Leonidas? No, it's not Leonidas. I'm getting confused. Like, I know his name, I just can't say it right now. So Ferlion's pupil, or his apprentice that uses the same fire magic too, declares Natsu as, his rival, since he uses fire and they both have fire magic, and they want to see who's the best fire magic. And then that's when he was like, I'm kind of stacked up with rivals right now, but yeah, sure, we could be rivals. He was like, he said, the dragon's fire is always superior to everybody else's magic. No matter what flame you have it from, the fire dragon will always find a way to prevail. And he was like, check this out. And then that's when he was like, this is how you know fire dragon magic is superior. And then this is when he uses his fire, right? His dragon fire, and then he puts the smoke around it, right? And he's like, I call this smoky flame, or flame smoke. I'm still working on the name of it, but you get the idea. And then that's when he was like, how did you do that? He was like, I have a special ability where I can eat magical elements and tune it with my fire. He was like, so therefore, I'm a he said, I guess you could say I'm a dragon of all elements, dragon of all trades, master of none. And then that's when one of the guardsmen interrupted and saying that, the village or the kingdom is being attacked, right? And then as everybody gets outside, the village is being overran. The village is being overran by zombies, right? And then that's when I think it's Rudeus. I think it's Rudeus. He was the one that basically had, I guess you could call it necromancy magic, but it's really just cursed magic. So he's trying to take revenge on the capital, right? And so that's when Natsu and Asta said that last one to the, they basically split up in teams to try to fight, try to save everybody and try to eliminate the threat that was threatening threatening the kingdom. So they both go to the loudest noise and they find the source of the person that's making all these zombies. So they land and they start fighting, which Natsu decide not to use flaming attacks, just normal martial arts, because he doesn't want to hurt the people that might be under the spell, right? And so this is where he fires cursed bolts, right? And they dodge, right? And so this is when he uses his number two puppet zombie, which is like an electrified zombie that shoots cursed lightning, right? So shoots cursed lightning, and that's when Asta got hit by the lightning, right? So he was barely to block it just in time, right? And so that's when he blocks it, and then he gets sent flying back, right? And so that's when Natsu was like, Asta, are you okay? And then that's when he sees all this corrosion or corruption but then it disappears. And then that's when Natsu was like, I have an idea. I don't think this might work out, but I could add this one to, excuse me. He said, I could add this one to my arsenal for now. He was like, should I get rid of smoke or should I keep it on the back burner? But he really doesn't know he can control, like I said, he only has like 3 slots. Like, he has 8 slots, 4 of them that, no, I did not say that. I think he has like 6. So 4 he could keep, 2 he is like temporary. No, I think I said 8 slots. Yeah, I don't remember. I know it's kind of bad to not remember, but I say 8 slots. He can only keep 3 out of the 5. So right now he has smoke in a permanent slot, and y'all already know what's about to happen, bro. I'm glad y'all know what's about to happen because this is about to be a huge power up. So Natsu gets blasted by the cursed magic, right? So he takes a full blast of cursed lightning and the cursed magic blast, right? And so he basically he tanks it, right? He doesn't take it. He's getting hurt really bad because it's cursed magic, right? And then as he got hit, the Udeus tried to take control of him, right? And as he was trying to fight the control, that's when Natsu awakened one of his that's when he went into his awakening mode with the dragon scales or dragon force, right? And so that's when he momentarily went into the dragon force to overpower the control. And that's when Natsu said, you won't control my body or mind of a dragon. And then that's when he roared, right? He does like this huge roar, and it shoots fire, right? He shoots fire out his mouth. And then that's when he inhales, right? He inhales the cursed magic and the cursed lightning. So he inhales it, right? And then that's when he was like, what are you doing? He said, and that's when Natsu was like, I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine. And then that's when he absorbs all the magic, right? He absorbs all the magic he shot, right? And then it was just like a moment of silence, right? And then that's when you see this huge explosion of lightning, flames, and cursed magic just swirling around Natsu as he breathes in and out. And then that's when one of Natsu's eyes goes purple, right? It goes purple, and then both of his eyes go purple. And then that's when Natsu gets in his fight and stands. And then that's when he said, this is the cursed lightning flaming dragon form. And then that's when Natsu was like, I just made that up on the spot, but this new power will surely put you down, and anyone else that decides to do evil in my presence, to my brothers, to my kingdom, or to me in general, which he's generalizing, right? So this is when Natsu cocks his fist back as he says, fire dragon, he says cursed lightning flame dragon, crimson lotus phoenix punch, right? And it's basically like he's mind you, he's like 2 blocks down, because that blast was pretty big and it pushed him back pretty far. So imagine he just like basically glides over to you, mind you. And as he glides, he leaves like a trail of hot, cursed, flaming trail that literally burns the concrete up when he's streaking down towards you. So it's basically like he blinks, and then all of a sudden he feels this huge force of energy, flames, lightning, and he feels like this whole force, right? And then he just gets hit, a huge explosion happens, and Natsu puts him down for the count. He's not dead, but he almost did die. So after that, that's when Flame Yon comes, right? He comes, and that's when he gets transported to the white dimension as it goes in canon. That's how it did go in canon. He gets transported as he was the real target, and that's when Natsu pinpointing what was going on and what was happening, right? So he basically saw one of the witches that was floating in the air as she was about to she was basically about to transport everybody away from the city, which she successfully did. So she transported some of the knights away from the city, right? Using some spatial magic, and that's when Flame Neon came back as well. So they were after the ruby that he possessed. He lost his arm. He lost his arm for the ruby, as he knows he knows who it was. So he got his arm lost, right? As you know, the spatial magic, he lost his arm, and they took the ruby. They took the ruby stone, right? And so, as that was going on, Natsu was over here trying to get a hang of his newfound abilities, curse. So he has curse flame, smoke, and now he had curse lightning. I would say the curse and the lightning abilities, since it was curse to lightning, it could kind of play 2 and 2. So technically he has like 3, but the lightning and the curses are all the same, so he could kind of like split it whenever he want. So he has smoke, curse lightning, and curse in general. So he could combine it with the curse smoke. He can make curse to smoke. He can make flame, a cursed flame. He can make a lightning smoke, or cursed lightning smoke. He's about to get creative with it, and I'm kind of making him OP. So yeah, he's about to get creative with it. So with that being said, as she transports everybody away or splits everybody up, the kingdom is still in peril. It's still under attack, and they're just trying to figure out their next move and what they need to do. And that's where I'm gonna be leaving this what if off right here. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I felt like I kind of rushed this a little bit, and I think I did, but it wasn't really too much to cover this episode besides the small fight and the kingdom being under attack. What else? Yeah, so Invincible will be coming. I will be finishing that. New season's dropped. I might as well just finish it. Y'all better know where we left off at, because I know where we left off at. So yeah, I hope y'all gonna enjoy this huge fight that's about to take place in this Invincible What If, even though it's not really much of a fight. It's more like a one-sided beatdown for real, because Kingdom Come Superman in the Invincible universe, it's kind of overpowered, man. I'm not gonna hold you. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this What If. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'm always active on my community tabs and posts, so if y'all have any ideas, just let me know. Just let me know how y'all feel about it and what y'all want me to do. What else do I got to say? Oh, if y'all want a story time on how Vice City gave me a free poster on my car I got in GTA, just let me know, and I could give a story time with that. I was also thinking about doing some random stuff, talking about how to run from the cops, or what if you ran from the cops, and what would you have to do if you ran from the police. Now, I don't condone it, but at the same time, everybody has free will. I would say do it at your own discretion, and if you get caught, I am not responsible for what happens next, because boy oh boy, different states have different laws, and even though the police be tripping, bro. I will only say do it if you feel like your life is in danger, or if the police tripping and you know they tripping, you got to do what you got to do. I'd rather live to fight another day than not live at all. And for the circumstances that I was in, it had to be done. So I hope y'all enjoyed this What If. And no, by any shape or mean, Redux is not a criminal. I just don't get caught. And no, I don't sell drugs or do any stupid stuff like that, man. I promise you, it was just at the wrong place and wrong time. And in GTA, I was racing, and I kind of was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was just passing through, nothing serious, but I guess the vice Vice City police was on their rockers. So I had to show them a 1-2 combo and get up out of there. And then that's when they called the Vice State Police, but they couldn't do nothing either. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this what if. Like I said, make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. We almost at 200 subscribers, man. Can't wait, bro. I really cannot wait to hit that 200 mark. And this is Redux What If signing off. And I will be doing a bunch of other what ifs. I'm not gonna tell y'all what other what ifs I'm gonna be doing. I'm just gonna be dropping them bankers. I'm just gonna be dropping them. That's just how it's gonna be right now, since I got nothing but time on the weekend right now. So I'm gonna just be dropping them. I hope y'all enjoy the what ifs that I'm gonna be dropping. And yeah, I'm gonna let this outro play. And this is Redux What Ifs signing off. Peace.